maybe it's about dividing polynomials, but we're dividing by a binomial. The way thing I'm going to do this, we're going to call this the long division. The x minus 4, let me write it on the outside. So I'm going to write x minus 4 on the outside. And inside, I'm going to write 3x squared minus 5x minus 28. Make sure neither on the outside nor neither on the inside or outside you're skipping any exponents. I look at my exponent is 2 to the 1 and then to the 0, and then on the outside as well, so we're good. Now to begin with, I'm just going to look at the first term. So I'm looking at 3x squared divided by the first term on the outside. So the first term on the inside divided by the first term on the outside. 3x squared divided by x, we get 3x. We learned that we have to subtract the exponents, so I get 3x. Now multiply the 3x to the terms on the outside. So 3x times x, I'm going to get 3x squared. 3x times a negative 4, I'm going to get negative 12x. Now, in division, we always draw a line. And when we're dealing with numbers, we always say subtract. But when we subtract, we technically change the signs. So we're going to draw the line and change the sign. So there's going to be negative. There's going to be plus. And the first term should always cancel out. 3 minus 3 is 0, so it does cancel out. Here, negative 5 plus 12, that gives me 7x minus 28. So once again, the first term only, the first term divided by the first term, I'm thinking of 7x divided by x. First term divided by the first term. So 7x divided by x is 7. Now multiply the 7 to everything on the outside. I'm going to have 7x minus 28. I'm going to draw the line, change the signs. The first term cancels out. The second term does cancel out too, so I don't have a remainder. If this one doesn't cancel out, I will have a remainder, but for right now, my answer is just 3x plus f. Same thing we're going to do on this one. So on the outside, let me write 2x minus 1. On the inside, let me write 4x to the third minus 4x squared plus 5x minus 8. I notice I had to rearrange this one. The top one, I had to rearrange it such that my exponents go in order. And make sure you're not skipping any. So if I look at my exponents, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So we're good. On the outside, we're doing the same thing. All right, so first term only, 4x to the third divided by 2x. I know 4x to the third divided by 2x, I get 2x squared. So now multiply the 2x squared to the terms on the outside. So I have 4x to the third minus 2x squared. And remember, we draw the line, change the signs. So that thing goes away. Here, negative 4 plus 2, that gives me negative 2x squared plus 5x, because I dropped the next term. So I'm just thinking of negative 2x squared divided by 2x. First term divided by the first term. So negative 2x squared divided by 2x gives me negative 1x. Now multiply the negative x, or negative 1x, to both terms on the outside. So negative x times 2x gives me negative 2x squared. Negative x times negative 1 give me plus x. Remember, draw the line and change the signs. So I'm going to draw this line, change this to positive, change this to negative. First term cancels out. 5 minus 1, I get 4x minus 8. Once again, I drop the next term. So now I'm going to do 4x divided by 2x. So in fact, let me do it over here at the side. 4x divided by 2x. First term divided by the first term. 4x divided by 2x, I get 2, positive 2. So multiplied everything on the outside by positive 2. So I'm going to get 4x minus 2. I'm going to draw the line, change the signs. First term cancels out. Now this one, negative 8 plus 2, I get a negative 6. So I do have a remainder. So for my remainder, since it's a negative, I'm going to put minus because it's a negative. And I'm going to put 6 over, 6 is my remainder. At the bottom, I'm going to write 2x minus 1. It's always the remainder over whatever we were dividing by. So notice I put my negative on the outside, so minus. So if it would have been a positive 6, I would have put plus. I'm just waiting on this thing. It froze for a minute. But once again, it's just the remainder over whatever we were dividing. Okay. Now, let's take a look at another example. The way I'm going to write this will be x squared plus 0x minus 1. Notice I added the 0x because remember I said do not skip any exponents. So I couldn't skip the x to the 1, so that's why I added the 0. Now on the inside, I'm going to have 2x to the 4th plus 3x to the 3rd minus x squared plus 6x plus 5. On your exponents, I have to the 4th, to the 3rd, 2nd, 1, to the 0. So they do go in order, and I'm not skipping any. So once again, I'm going to think of 2x to the 4th, right? The first term divided by x squared, which is my first term. 2x to the 4th divided by x squared, I have 2x squared. Now multiply the 2x squared to every term on the outside. So 2x squared times x squared gives me 2x to the 4th. 2x squared times 0x gives me 0x to the 3rd. 2x squared times a negative 1 gives me a negative 2x squared. So then I'm going to draw the line, change the sign. So minus, minus, plus. First term cancels out. Second term, I have 3 minus 0, right? I'm just looking at the coefficients. 3 minus 0, that's 3x to the 3rd. Here, negative 1 plus 2, that is plus 1x squared. And then plus 6x because I dropped the next term. All right, so once again, the first term divided by the first term. So I'm thinking 3x to the 3rd divided by x squared. That gives me positive 3x. Now multiply 3x to every term on the outside. So 3x times x squared gives me 3x to the 3rd. 3x times 0x gives me 0x squared. 3x times a negative 1 gives me a negative 3x. So draw the line, change the signs. So negative, negative, positive. First term cancels out, right? 3 minus 3, 0. Here, 1 minus 0, I get 1x squared plus 9x plus 5. So I drop my next term. So now for the next thing, I'm going to think of x squared divided by x squared. Remember the first term divided by the first term here. X squared divided by x squared is 1. So 1. Multiply the 1 to everything on the outside. So 1 times x squared, I get x squared. 1 times 0x, I get 0x. 1 times negative 1, I get negative 1. Then I'm going to go draw the line, change the sign. So this is minus, minus, plus. First term cancels out. I have 9x plus 6. So I do have a remainder. So then I'm going to write plus, because remember it's a positive, 9x plus 6 on top. And at the bottom, I'm going to write x squared minus 1. It's okay whenever we write it to skip the 0x. Here at the bottom, remember I'm writing whatever I was dividing it by. But it's okay to simplify it and get rid of the 0x. Okay, let's take a look at one more. Bueno, that was it. That was my last example. So make sure you're not skipping any exponents. That's a little reminder. This little one, I wrote this as x squared plus 0x minus 1 when I wrote it on the outside. So I will not skip any exponents.